Hey crafty friends, this is Einat Kessler with Saturday Extravaganza. Thank you very much for joining me. Now maybe most of you don't know, but I have a real passion for interactive designs and mini albums. That means mini albums that have pockets and wheels and doors and windows and folds and everything that can be moved, pushed, pulled, and like that. So I love to invent stuff and think about ways to do this. So let's start. You need a 12 by 12 black cardstock to create only one sheet of paper mini album. Isn't that cool? So what we're going to do is we're going to score it at 4 inches and 8 inches and then turn it and score in the same 4 and 8 inches on the other side, creating a grid. Now we turn it over and do the exact same thing, score it 4 and 8 inches. That we do that because we need to break the paper's memory. We want to fold it later and we want it to be easy, and so we score in both directions, and that will make the paper very, very cooperative. So now you fold all the folds and burnish them with your bone folder and just open them again. Now how are we going to create this mini album? You have to follow me step by step and it will be really easy. So first we're going to take a knife and a ruler and cut on the 4-inch line just until the first fold line, and then cut. Sometimes I need to turn the paper and then cut. I just turned it, it's not a different cut, and cut another cut. And what I like to do is just widen the cut just a little tiny bit. It's gonna be even less than 1/16 of an inch, maybe even less than 1/32 of an inch. Really widen it very slightly, but still you can see that the cut is a bit wider than just one time going with your knife. Now we take a circle, 1-inch circle punch, and punch on the left side of the middle square because we're going to create a pocket. So to create a pocket, you just apply glue on the bottom and on the top of the square on the right and glue them down, and now you have a pocket. And now you fold it down, the pocket, and now you need to cut on that side just under the folded pocket when it's closed, obviously, and don't forget to widen your cut just a little tiny bit. That helps with all the later when we have to close all the folds, we don't want it to be too thick, so that helps all the folds to be closed very easily. So now we fold it back down again and to the left, but we're not going to do on top of it but under. Fold it to the left under the middle square. Again, you fold it down and then under the middle square. And now we're going to go work on the left side. We're going to fold down the upper square to the middle, and then we're going to fold it to the right. But first we're going to create another pocket. So on the left side of that square, you punch your 1-inch circle punch and apply glue on 2 sides only to leave the left side open for a pocket, because the upper part is already closed because of the fold. Now I probably should have cut this line before I folded, but it doesn't really matter. You can just cut it right now. And you cut and widen your cut. Don't forget that, that's very important. So now this one is cut as well. So after we created our pocket, we fold it to the right towards the middle square. Now for the bottom part, we're also going to create a pocket, but it's going to be a double pocket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score on the 1-inch line, the other side as well. This is, I just turned it over, but this is the right square. Okay, that's going to be folded to the left, and then that little 1-inch line that we scored is going to be folded to the right. So we're going to have one pocket here and one pocket on the other side. So for the little tiny pocket, you just put glue on the top and the bottom of that flap there. Open and put some glue on the top and bottom of the other flap, which is the right square. So you have one pocket and two pockets. Then we're going to fold the left square to the middle and close. So now we're going to cover everything. I'm using Graphic 45 pattern papers, and you have the measurements, and we're going to start folding. I pre-cut all my squares, and it's crooked. Don't worry about that, fix it later. Just want to make sure it's straight. So we'll just start covering. You just start opening your mini album and go ahead and cover. So whenever you have a full-size square, then you will cover it with a full-size pattern paper square, which is going to be 3 7/8 by 3 7/8, because all the squares are basically 4 by 4 inches. So we just leave a little tiny frame around it and cut all squares 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. So we're just going to start covering this double pocket here. We're going to have to measure. So the first strip, which is the left one, is 1 inch by 3 7/8. So we're going to adhere that. Then the middle strip, this is the pocket, see? Now the middle strip is going to be 7/8 of an inch by 3 7/8. Now try to play with the pattern of the paper and make it coordinate, and have fun with it. You can use whatever combination you want. And that last strip of paper is 1 7/8 by 3 7/8 of an inch. So one pocket on the other side. Now for the top side, we cover that as well. Now you can do the whole mini album with just one sheet of 12 by 12 double-sided cardstock, and then you will not have to cover anything because the pattern on the cardstock will be enough. I just like to do it in 2 stages. So I'm just gonna punch. We used the 1-inch punch to create the hole in the pocket. So for the cover paper, I'm using 1 1/8 of an inch circle punch, just so it will look nice. So as I was saying, you can do this with just one piece of 12 by 12 cardstock, double-sided cardstock, and then it will be just folding and cutting and doing all the pockets and tags, and that will be enough. But I just like to do it with a black cardstock first, and then cover it with different papers. But it's essentially one sheet of paper mini album. So continuing with covering all our squares, and I'm just gonna coordinate the patterns, and I had to change my glue because the other one was finished. And it doesn't take long either, and that can be a really cool gift, a mini album, and you have a lot of places to journal and put photos in the pockets as well. So it's really fun. You can even put it in your wallet, or it can be an insert to a bigger mini album that you create. So another cover for the last pocket that we have. And now we need to do all the inserts and the tags. This is the bottom, so we're not covering it. So I have here pieces of black cardstock that I'm going to use for the tags. So this first one is 2.5 inches by 6, and I'm going to fold it in half and cover the front. And this will be like a flap that opens, and it will have, this will be an insert to one of the pockets. So this measures 2 3/8 by 3 3/8, I think. Just see what I'm writing, what I've added here, all the measurements of all the squares and the tags and everything. So I'm going to leave that aside because that's the same color as the pocket and I want it to be a different color. So I'm going to fold another 3 by 6 black cardstock and cover it, only the front this time. It's really helpful to have a really tiny small trimmer like I have here, just for the smaller squares and cuts that I need to do. So this is this, you can have journaling and photos in there. So this one is going to go on that side here, and for the smaller pocket we're going to make 2 tags that will measure 3 by 2 inches, and we're going to cover them. And of course the cover paper is going to be slightly smaller and is going to measure 1 7/8 by 2 7/8. So there is a lot of measuring in paper engineering and interactive design because everything needs to be very accurate. But I like that. I don't mind. You see, right now I forgot to cut it to size, and it already has glue on it, so I have to do it with a ruler and a knife, and it's still too wide. Just eyeballing it. Now it's good. So, but once you do it enough times, then measuring and cutting becomes not a really big issue. So this is going to go in this pocket, the tag that we made at the beginning. And for this pocket, we're going to create a tag 3 6/8 by 3 and cover it, of course. And this is also a really good way to use all your scraps that you have to create tags and stuff like that, and flaps and things. And then you don't waste your paper, you just use them for something pretty. So this one goes in there. And now I want to create another something for the cover and hide that mistake that I made. And I'm gonna cut just one of the images from the pattern papers that I really like. This is the Mother Goose pattern paper by Graphic 45, which I've created a few projects with because I really like it. So I'm just cutting around the image. So paper engineering is a lot of fun, and if you haven't tried it until now, I really recommend you do, because you can create really fun stuff and interactive pages that people can be engaged with once they look at your mini album. They can open flaps and discover things underneath and pull things out of pockets and see what's inside, and it's fun. It's surprising, it's mysterious, it's different. I really like it, and the fun part is coming up with all the combinations for all the options that you have when you create interactive mechanisms in your mini albums. So that's a lot of fun. I'm adding just a few flowers that I cut from the same pattern paper. And I'm not gonna write anything because I haven't decided what I want to use it for, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. and I want to add a few more things to the inside. On this page, I'm adding, these are a few pieces that I also cut from the pattern paper. So I'm going to glue them down as a tiny mini pocket. So I'm just going to put glue on the bottom of this one and also on the bottom of this one. And then I'm going to add a tag that's going to go under those two pieces. So this one's a little too long, I have to shorten it. And this one is going under. It can be a photo if you want as well. It doesn't have to be a tag. And for this one, I'm just going to take a strip that I have and put glue only on the edges here. Glue it down to my page and then insert a tag under it. So I'm just going to fold it. It's going to be a long tag, so this one's going to be inserted in there. So this is what we have. We're opening it down, and then you have open to the left, and you have your two small tags and your opening flap. And then up here you have another tag. And then you open it to the right and you have this one here, the tag, and then you close it and open it to the top with your last pocket there. So I think that's really cool that you can create all of this only from one piece of paper, and I hope you will share my passion for interactive mini albums. So thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye, you guys.